hidden curriculum to empower Black youth that became the backbone of Sesame Street. In 1968, a group of producers gathered with researchers, child psychologists, and psychiatrists to discuss their idea for an educational children's television program marketed specifically for Black children from inner cities.
They did a series of seminars basically talking about the different ways that television could be used to educate children. And one of the most prolific of that group was Dr. Chester Pierce. He talked a lot about not only the educational purposes of the show and getting children of color ready for school on the same level as their white counterparts, but he also talked about something which was called a hidden curriculum for Sesame Street that they wanted to infuse within the actual curriculum. He thought that Sesame Street could be a really good example to counteract a lot of the microaggressions that Black children were experiencing via television, whether that was negative stereotypes, flat out aggressions, and he was actually the person who coined the term microaggression. So he and other Black collaborators got together and made this hidden curriculum, basically wanting to pump out positive Black images for the Black children who are watching it. And Black children were the target market. More specifically, 4-year-old Black children were the target audience. The team of Black researchers essentially opened the door for the idea of combining curriculum and production within children's educational programming. In the 1960s, television was still relatively new, like it was probably in its second or third decade at this point, and television programming for kids was essentially in the group of like only marketing and selling to kids. So the idea of educating them was still relatively new. This team of people really came together and showed that, hey, you can educate kids and have it for an intended audience and show all of these positive representations of various minority groups. It's not just white children who can be educated via television, but all children can be educated via television.
Pierce would go on to become a national advisor for the Children's Television Workshop, which later became Sesame Street Workshop. He worked closely with the show's creators to make inclusive, impactful television for kids.